Faithfuls continuing to pour in at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican to pay their last respects to the late Pope Francis. The 88-year-old's body was carried through St. Peter's in a sad procession yesterday. He passed away, of course, on Monday in his chambers at the Vatican's Santa Marta guesthouse following a stroke. The Pope's funeral will be held on Saturday, 10 o'clock Central African time at St. Peter's Square. Let's get you a sense of what else we should think about insofar as this is concerned and bring in SABC News correspondent John Bevir, who joins us now live. And John, of course, the world is still fixated on the Vatican as we continue watching the thousands of pilgrims, presumably from around the world, pay their respects to the late Pope.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. There are still people arriving here in their thousands, their tens of thousands probably is the best estimate. I was just speaking with one lady who said that she had moved mountains, was how she put it, in order to get here. And certainly there is a lot of dedication when it comes to people who want to make sure that they are here to pay their last respects to the Pope. Now, as we've seen, those long queues still continuing in Vatican City, all going towards St. Peter's Basilica, this building behind me. There is a slight issue, though, in that it's just started raining here. It's only very light at the moment, but there is a little bit of bad weather expected today. So for people who are having to stand for many hours out in the open, some of them fairly elderly, that is obviously just another thing that they're having to contend with. But certainly for many of them, that is not something that they worry about. They are determined to pay their final respects to Pope Francis, and they only have 2 days left. Viewing will continue until midnight tonight local time, and then we'll restart tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. local time. And then will last for 12 hours, and then that's it. The casket will be sealed ahead of the Pope's funeral, which, as you mentioned, takes place on Saturday morning.
And the Catholic Church, of course, has been here several times. I mean, it's always quite extraordinary to watch the coordinated series of events that typically unfold after the death of a pope. But what's your sense about the coordination of all of this as the viewing in state continues?
Yeah, it's an interesting mix because obviously we have the mourning taking place, and a lot of people who say that this is an incredibly important moment for them and their faith, and they are coming here and they are making sure that they can do all they can to remember the Pope. But then in terms of how it's all being organised, then for authorities in Rome and in Vatican City, this is a huge logistical challenge, isn't it? You already have an incredibly busy European capital city in Rome, and now we have tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands more people suddenly descending on the area with very little notice. And so that is a large logistical challenge. There's very limited numbers of places to stay. Public transport is pretty much full. I was on a bus last night. There were people unable to get on and off the buses. I mean, all of these sorts of things that you have to think about. Not only is this a very important moment, obviously, for Catholics and people of faith around the world, but there is a huge amount of pressure on making sure this all goes smoothly. But the authorities have said that they are confident they will be able to deliver.
Right, and this is all, of course, in the lead up to Saturday, when we're expecting a number of heads of states to be in one place. And I've said before that there are very few events around the world that are able to draw these individuals to one place, and the death of a pope is certainly one of them. I imagine that too is going to consider, or is going to need, a lot of consideration when it comes to logistics, security, and all that comes with it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've ever been anywhere near a US president or seen any of those images, you know that when the US president comes to town, and no matter where you are in the world, the US president will come with a huge security circus, is probably the best way to describe it. Now, when you add into the fact that the US president is just one of many heads of state, well, then it shows you just how big this security operation is. All of this will have been pre-planned, of course. Pope Francis was very unwell in hospital earlier this year, spent more than a month in hospital earlier this year. So there will have been plans put into place then in case he didn't recover from his stay in hospital. And that really is what we're starting to see, the culmination of all this planning as the different security teams arrive. Not only do we have presidents and prime ministers, we have monarchs as well. The King of Spain is going to be here, Prince William from the UK. So we have this huge who's who of global rulers, basically. And yes, it's a massive security operation to keep them all safe, to make sure it all goes smoothly, on top of the logistics of having to deal with hundreds of thousands of mourners coming here as well.